Your prophet's a false prophet, right? So I'm going to bury you with the books of Muhammad. And your prophet said in Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 44, to judge by what Allah revealed. I'm judging by what Allah revealed, being the Torah, Zabur, Injil. You're judging by falsafa, which is not what your prophet revealed. And this is not what the message revealed, according to Imam Barbahari in his Sharh Sunnah. So you're going to be buried. So why are you running away when, according to the Salaf Salih, they condemn falsafa, and you're going to answer these points, right? I didn't even mute you. I didn't even mute you, Apollo. Someone else muted you. You're going to answer these points. Why is this author weak? Right? You got to accept the author. The author for you is obligatory. You reject this author. Now he's run away. See, he's run away. What a pagan. He's ran away. What a coward. See? He ran away. See? He ran away. What a pagan.
So Apollo uploaded a debate where he got humiliated by Agatho on the hypostatic union and the incarnation. Apollo sneakily cut the debate to around 44 minutes because he's deceptive. When the debate was over 1 hour and 42 minutes long, he snipped out the rest of the debate with me because I was severely baking him on Islam, and Apollo ran away from me at the end. This Apollo kid also cut the 55-minute conversation they had with Agatho to 43 minutes because he got destroyed at the end because he couldn't even substantively report back to what Agatho was saying on the incarnation being logical, and therefore he conceded.
When I'm making the claim the hypostatic union is logically contradictory, I'm not making the claim on the basis of the motivation that the body and soul is something that
can you answer the question?
That's not my motivation.
Apollo, do you believe that somebody can be the subject? Apollo, do you believe somebody can be the subject of materiality and immateriality simultaneously?
And soul is logically contradictory.
Apollo, answer the question, yes or no. Do you believe somebody can be the subject of materiality and immateriality simultaneously?
No,
yes or no?
I don't believe this to be logically contradictory. Then asked you to tie that back to the topic.
I asked you a second question. I asked you a second question. Do you believe something can be the subject of immateriality and materiality, given the fact that materiality and immateriality are mutually exclusive?
You do the Joe Rogan Q&A interview style type of rhetoric. How about you address my argument and what my argument actually is?
Agatho's argument.
How about you do this?
Stop running away, Apollo. Stop running away.
Right, so here's the argument, right? So without you asking me,
my argument is so simple.
Why your position is logically contradictory.
Can someone be the subject of materiality and immateriality, given that materiality and immateriality?
You don't want to hear the argument? You don't want to hear the argument?
I'm giving you a counter argument. I'm proving how, even according to Islam, by virtue of the fact you believe in a soul, you have to concede.
Claiming it to be logically contradictory.
I do know why. Because you believe that divinity and your argument is because divinity and humanity are mutually exclusive, and yet they can be unified in a singular subject.
What is my position? Could you tell me it's hard about position right now? Go ahead.
I just told you what it was.
What's the entirety of my position? Tell me. What's the entirety of my position? Explain to me what my position even is. Go ahead.
Your brain is
Your position against hypostatic union is that divinity and humanity, because they're mutually exclusive in regards to their natural properties.
Why do I believe that they're mutually exclusive?
Okay, Micah, I'm gonna have to get him mute
What's my point?
if he can't
address your point. Apollo, address Agatho's point. If you're not going to engage, that's on you.
My point is so simple. Can someone be the subject?
I'm asking you,
Apollo,
why do I believe that in the context of the hypostatic union, there would be logical?
I already answered that question. I already answered that question.
No, you did not. You told me one part of the reason. I asked you to explain the entirety of my reason.
I gave you the entire part. That's why I kept speaking, but you couldn't stop talking.
You could start responding by telling me a little bit.
I'll give you the full explanation. And then he can respond.
You have to actually listen to what Agatho's saying and then address what he's saying.
So the first point is he believes that the two natures are mutually exclusive in regards to their natural properties. That's the first contention. He believes that they cannot be unified in a singular subject, because if the singular subject were to be the participator of those mutually exclusive properties, he necessarily would have to engage in properties that contradict themselves within the given subject. Namely, that Jesus cannot be said to be both God and man. If God is material and immaterial, Jesus cannot be said to be both God and man. If he's both physical and non-physical, Jesus cannot be said to be both God and man. If he is temporal and eternal, Jesus cannot be said to be God and man. If he is unable to die and yet able to die. That is part of his first argument against the hypostatic union. A second part of his argument against the hypostatic union is because he doesn't understand the distinction of natures. He believes that any form of distinction necessarily denotes separability. So he believes that Jesus Christ cannot maintain divinity while assuming humanity, because of the very fact that insofar as he assumes humanity, he necessarily has to separate himself from the divinity, because that which constitutes humanity cannot constitute divinity. The third part of his ridiculous argument is because of the very fact that this moron, what he does is he's going to then confuse the natures. A fourth part of his argument, or fourth part of his contention, would be probably, and I assume this is probably going to be the most obvious case, is that he's going to ultimately argue, besides the 3 points that I mentioned, that Jesus Christ cannot be said to be both God and man because the unity would denote a change, meaning that he's going to make an argument from immutability. He's going to say that if God is immutable, then he cannot become a man because that would denote an intrinsic change of his nature as a result of becoming incarnate, that he would have had to have undergone a change, namely, he would enter into creation when prior to that he existed outside of time and space. So those are four potential aspects of his argument. The first one he already granted was indeed and conceded that was part of his argument, and the other three are most likely his argument against the hypostatic unions. This is what many bastard sons of Lucifer often argue.
Can we get an unmute on Apollo now? Are you going to let him respond?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right.
It's going to be between
Unmute him and let him respond. Come on.
Yeah, okay, and then you're getting muted, okay? So it's going to be between two people.
Got you. So just to respond to a couple of things. None of this ever mentioned physicality and non-physicality, so you're just like shut the box in, firstly. Secondly, is you're making predictions about the arguments. You're saying, well, it could be the case, it potentially is the case that this is what Paul is going to argue because other people argued this. Buddy, try to actually show my arguments is firstly, instead of making predictions and waffling while you have the person on mute. The actual argument, however, is not predicated on talking about physicality and non-physicality. You're shut the box in, you're not addressing the actual point, and you're committing misinterpretation, misrepresentations, and distortions of the actual point here. The actual argument here is quite simple. Right, so every Christian will agree on the idea that God possesses divine aseity. Right, divine aseity, you know what divine aseity is, buddy? Do you know what this is?
I'm not going to answer any questions until you finish and concede your
Okay,
time.
not going to answer the question because you want to run away from the question. That's fine. You're too scared to answer the question. So, given the Christian position, since my buddy over here is unable to answer questions because he's retarded, on the Christian's position, I'll answer the question for you. So, yes, you do believe that it is the case that God possesses divine aseity. This is something which the vast majority of Christian scholars and church fathers would agree on. God possesses divine aseity. That means he's independent of all things. Now, because that is something which is a part of the divine nature, and nature is something which encapsulates the essence of an object, that means it is necessarily true that God is independent of all things. Just like how it is necessarily true that God is omnipotent, and it is necessarily true that God is all-knowing. That's also a necessary fact about God. However, if that is going to be a necessary fact, then there's going to be an issue. Because you believe that something in the human nature, right, is God, and in the human nature, the Son was not the type of thing which is omnipotent, which is all-knowing, or which is independent of all things. So the contradiction is, God is necessarily independent of all things, and God is not necessarily independent of all things, because
Micah, how did I not predict that? He confused the natures. He literally did what I said he's going to do. He confused the natures. You just confused the natures. So all the other predictions that I made are 100% your argument. You just confused the natures.
There will be a contradiction.
So Paulo, tell me how all the points I made are not what you argued. You did exactly what I said you're going to do.
Because the point
you deny that Jesus is God. You're going to deny.
However, the point I'm talking about here is not talking about physical predication. None of your points that you.
And then
Apollo, what you said was already defeated because I already predicted you're going to talk about mutually exclusive properties proper to each nature somehow excludes that they can be conformed to one subject. I already predicted that. You just proved that that was your argument. So instead of conceding like you should have done, like an honest person, you tried to act like you wouldn't have argued that. Explain to me how you didn't just argue that.
Yeah.
Even though I said you're going to argue that.
And once again, Apollo is committing kufr because he's using mantak, which is condemned by the Salaf Salih. So let's go into Apollo.
Yeah, so you're talking about confusing the natures. That's not even the case, by the way. When you're talking about confusing the natures, it would have to be the case that you're collapsing them into one category, or there's the case that you're taking it to be the case that one nature is going to possess the characteristics of the other nature. I'm not doing any of these two options, right? Here's what I'm doing, right? You're going to stop interrupting, you're going to stop panicking, you're going to stop having an anxiety attack, and Christians like you are unable to defend your doctrine position, but here's the actual position. Buddy, you know how to have a normal
What's your Aqidah? What is your Aqidah? You want to answer?
Relax, dude.
What's
We're not talking about a theater here, buddy.
Are you
Let's not try to burden shit.
Are you
Let's not try to
Are you running away from your religion? Are you running away from your religion?
It's about the hypostatic union, not about Agatho. Right, so stay on topic, buddy.
It's all right,
the
Micah.
topic is about hypostatic union.
I'm just going to assume that he's an SAE or an
So
SHAE.
there's a conjunct of be or not be, buddy.
Are you
The first proposition
He's running
that
away.
God is necessarily independent, and the second proposition, invention of the human nature, would be that he's not necessarily independent because the Son was not independent. That's a logical contradiction. There we go. Just the argument.
So why are you judging by
Just
something
the argument.
according to Surah Al-Baqarah?
Just the argument.
Micah, I want to
Just the argument.
Yeah, so don't address the Quran? Okay, don't address the Quran. Run away from the Quran like you do.
Do you know that necessity in the context of modern logic quantifies over all possibilities in the parts of the
Let's address this topic and let's show.
What do you think necessity operates as in the function of modern logic? Wait, could you explain to me the modal functionality of necessity operators? Go ahead.
Micah, just mute him. I need to reply to this because
his
argument was already refuted because he just tried to argue that, as I mentioned, he's trying to argue about mutual exclusivity of the properties proper to each nature. He said he wasn't going to do any of the things that I predicted. Oh, you're just assuming, even though you just called me on my bullshit, and I knew for a fact he was going to argue these things. The problem is, did you catch what his argument was? Now, of course, he's just going to run his mouth, and that's why it's difficult to talk to him without getting him muted and allowing for response time. And I'm more than willing to allow you to respond without interruption, as I already did. But you said God is ase. He possesses aseity. Is that a property of nature? It is, isn't it? Well, if it's a nature proper to the divine nature, if it's a property proper to the divine nature, then that means that it's constitutive of divinity, not humanity. So it wouldn't be contradictory to say that Christ, insofar as human operations are concerned, does not possess aseity proper to humanity, but does properly possess it according to divinity, insofar as he's engaging in operations that are, so to speak, derivative of the divinity, not the humanity. So it's not a contradiction because it's not mutually exclusive. The Son of God can participate in two distinct operations insofar as the natures in which he participates in those operations are not confused. As long as you don't say that Jesus Christ's lack of dependency or aseity is predicated of his divinity, then it's not a problem. It doesn't deny his divinity whatsoever. And as long as we don't somehow confuse the fact that he is God, that he participates in operations proper to the divinity that are not constitutive of the humanity, then it's simply maintaining distinction while maintaining unity. There is no contradiction. There is no such thing as, well, he's dependent in one circumstance, in one regard, and no, he's still here. He's dependent in one circumstance, in one regard, properly predicated of humanity, but is not in divinity. Well, he's the subject of two distinct operations, and it's not a contradiction because those operations are proper to their particular natures. They're not proper to the opposite nature.
Maybe the reason why I can't see that he hasn't ran away is because your boyfriends are typing in the side chat and they're clogging up the chat. I can't even see his VC. I can't even see the name. I can't even see his name on the VC. So once again, I love how you've just been exposed. The fact of the matter is, when Agatho is trying to explain his position, you have to over-talk him. You won't even let him explain.
Micah, suck my dick, bitch ass nigga.
Now your boyfriends are like hyenas in the side chat. They got to clog up the dialogue, the diametrics. Okay, so calm down. I'm going to mute.
That's right. Let him respond. But I'm going to make a rule that we're not going to do this.
People muted, and they're the ones clogging
because
up
your boyfriends are.
We're not going to do this. We're not going to do this. No, it's fine. Micah, we're not going to do. We'll let him respond, but we're not going to do the whole yelling and all this. No insults, none of that.
Let's just be linear. There's two people, Apollo and Agatho. Let's be linear and nice. And let each other respond.
And the reason why I went to Islam, Apollo, is because while you're debating falsafa, you're committing.
You get to use retard.
You are committing right now. Right? The Salaf
Micah, stop waffling, bro. Anyways, let's get back to our conversation.
I know that you don't.
So here's the point that I want to talk about. Yep. Waffle. Stop talking now. So let's talk about the relevant points here. So I'm just responding to the arguments that who's relevant to the conversation.
Now look how he's talking over me. He's talking over me. He's talking over me.
Yeah, because you're not talking about the subject matter. Everything you're saying is irrelevant to the debate itself. We don't care about you waffling and doing the post-loss damage control. What we want to talk about here is the hypostatic union. We want to have a substantial uplifted conversation, not listen to a Down syndrome person yapping about something irrelevant to the topic. So back to the other guy. Just to address the other guy's argument, right? So he made a couple of points. Why is he still talking?
He won't even let us speak, man. Look at this. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? He won't even let us speak. And now he's nervous laughing because he knows that he's been exposed.
We're going to give you 20 seconds to let it all out and then just respond to the other guy's argument.
You're going to nervous laugh. That's what you got to do.
Apollo, though.
Wow.
Apollo, I want you to make it clear.
I want to respond to your arguments as well, but the side character backup dancer just cannot control himself. Like he just keeps on, he's twerking on the sideline and he just won't stop. He won't stop. He won't stop twerking on the sideline.
I want to make it clear. Mike, I want to make it clear though. Apollo, I want you to agree on this condition that any argument you make on this regard, I'm going to be able to apply to Allah and Islam. That's fair, right? Consistency.
It is certainly fair. Now Apollo's going to be...
Is that correct? Hold on.
Okay, so can I finally respond to the other guy's argument, please?
Apollo, I need you to accept this condition of the debate. That you are going to make sure that every argument you make attacking the hypostatic union, in regards to the claim of it being a contradiction, I'm allowed to apply all those arguments to Allah and Islam in the Quran. Is that correct?
Of course, do whatever. If you want to have a separate conversation about it, that's fine.
No, I didn't say separate. The same conversation.
Yeah, dude. So you're just clearly trying to derail the conversation. We're going to focus on what your points are.
It's not.
Right?
It's not derailing.
So here's the condition you want me to agree on.
Apollo,
the condition. Here's the condition. I want to get this clear. So in this conversation, the condition is any argument I forward which debunks your religion, you can try to use those arguments to derail the conversation from your religion. Is that correct?
Apollo, any of the arguments you try to employ, I'm going to use them against Allah. Otherwise, I'm going to accuse you of double standards. And
so is it a yes? So I want to get this clear. I want to understand the question properly.
Apollo,
so the condition for this conversation moving forward. Hold on, bro. Can we just have a normal conversation? So the condition for the conversation moving forward is any argument I follow. Hold on, dude. Relax, bro. Take a chill pill, dog. I'm trying to understand what's going on here. I'm trying to ask you a question for clarity purposes.
Everyone, I can't even.
Mike, it's hard to have an intelligible conversation when we have someone like you just keep on aping out on the sidelines, okay? So I want to understand what the other guy is saying. So just to be clear, because I know you want to stall the conversation because you don't want to respond to the current points, you know they're going to go on to meta points, right? Just to be clear, the condition is I'm trying to understand what the conditions are. I'm going to ask you this clarifying question, and I just want a yes or no. So the clarifying question is, the condition you're telling me is... Dude, can I ask the clarifying question before I say yes to the condition? Thank you. So the clarifying question...
I said I'm not going to answer yes
or no. I'm trying to answer the question, but I don't really understand the question. So I'm asking you a clarifying question. So could you allow me to articulate the clarifying question? Then afterwards, yes or no.
Like Muhammad.
So the clarifying question is, are you asking me, the condition is, are you asking me any argument I forward against the hypostatic union, you are allowed and you want to use that argument against my religion to derail the conversation from your religion?
Show the double standards of your beliefs. So show the double standards that you're holding to.
Was that a yes or no?
Mike, I'm going to answer quickly. Yes or no? No. I'm going to reject the premise of the question.
Okay, so you're not going to use my arguments against my religion.
Mike, you got to mute it. Mike, you got to mute it. Whenever I'm responding, you got to mute it.
So since you agree that it is...
I can't respond.
Apollo's not
okay, I'm going to respond to the question without interruption.
Apollo,
I'm willing to let you to give your response without interruption. But I'm rejecting the premise of your question that it's derailing. No, it's simply an appeal against double standards because that's exactly what you're going to be engaging in if you refuse the condition. And two, it's an appeal to consistency. It's a true appeal to consistency, not a false one. So either you concede the condition or you concede the debate, really. Because you're going to have to admit that any argument that you make, Allah is a false God. Because otherwise, if you're not willing to grant that, and then we can debate and continue, or... you don't grant that, and you prove Allah is as consistent as you claim He is, along with trying to argue against the Trinity or the hypostatic union.
I don't even know who this Apollo guy is. I don't even know this Apollo guy is. He's some random person who has no relevance. Who is this guy? He's Majhul. Anyways, Apollo, you can continue, but don't interrupt Agatho. I want to hear what Agatho says. I don't want to hear your shitty ass mouth talking, okay? I want to hear what Agatho says as he responds to your point. Every time he speaks, you interrupt him. You're talking over him as he tries to get a point out to refute your arguments. So can I hear what he has to say? Okay, you're going to get unmuted. Like a good boy, stay on mute, and you're going to get muzzled when I mute you, okay? Now I'm going to unmuzzle you. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll agree with your condition. I understand you guys are like, peeing your diapers and whatever. I'll agree to the condition, right? So,
okay, another condition. No personal insult or attacks
against my religion, against my God, of course.
Hold on, Micah,
in this conversation.
Micah, I need this.
Am I allowed to respond to your arguments now? Can I respond to your arguments now? Can I respond to your arguments? Thank you. So, since I've agreed to the conditions,
I'm gonna have to mute you
allow me to
again.
respond to the previous arguments I've given in the conversation.
So,
respond to the arguments. Why do you keep on running away? What is wrong with you, dude?
You're just freaking out.
I've agreed to the condition. Now let me
break down what
the arguments you were giving a while ago.
No insults.
Apollo, you were panicking like Muhammad when he cursed an orphan girl.
Apollo, no insults, no rhetoric. Just address the argument. Stop playing like a fucking little faggot girl like Muhammad got raped up the ass by Jinn and got played around with by his companion who kissed his side with his shirt off and was so fucking happy his fag buddy was there to welcome him with open arms. I don't want to hear any insults and all this shit. Like, let's stop, man. Just address the argument at hand. Otherwise, I'm just going to insult your prophet up and down.
Yeah, so look, now we've got his boyfriends. Now we've got Apollo's boyfriends cursing our God. We're telling Apollo, stop with the rhetoric.
Poop on your
Still
God.
giving rhetoric. Now his boyfriends are interrupting and they're panicking.
Your God is literally going to put his stinky ass foot in hell. Like, you really think you're going to be able to make any insult?
Exactly. And the fact of the matter is Apollo is committing kufr because he's discussing falsafa and he would have had a pike up his anus, right? The Salaf side would have put a pike up his anus for committing this stuff, right? To doing this stuff. Okay, so Apollo, I'm going to right now.
Okay, gotcha. Are you guys ready? So to address the arguments, right? So we're going to talk specifically about the points you've made. He said that it was confusing natures. However, I was not confusing the natures because I was not describing the properties of one nature to the other, nor was I collapsing them into one particular category. So that's an incorrect point, firstly. Secondly, I have realized your interruption. What's going on?
I just need you to clarify. Did you mention aseity?
Yeah, so you're interrupting. So
you can answer.
I just need clarification because I don't want to straw man you.
And now he's rudely interrupting. So originally they tried to find a plethora of excuses to run away from the conversation.
Because you just ran away from the point.
You're trying to run away from the conversation by interrupting my point to get me off track. That is crazy. But it's not going to work because my metacognitive ability is 7,000 to 8,957 steps ahead of you guys. It is actually insane. The gap intellectually is crazy.
Much farther than Muhammad was.
I'm composed. I'm still calm, and I'm still going to be on point of the conversation.
You didn't even know how to do that.
So to continue the point, the reason as to why there would be a contradiction in the hypostatic union to continue and to perpetuate the conversation, which they're trying to run away from, did
I not just warn you about rhetoric? Rhetoric
you can ask me
stop with rhetoric.
Ask me about after I'm done talking. Okay, how about that?
You're not going to be talking if you're going to do rhetoric. You're just going to get to the point.
I haven't even started talking for 10 seconds.
You do realize that Imam Baba
if he engages in rhetoric, just mute him.
Yeah, you do realize that Imam Baba You do realize that Imam Baba said in his show.
The reason as to why there's logical.
Now you're going to interrupt. Okay, you're not like Apollo. You do realize that Imam Baba in his Sharh as-Sunnah, page 87, he said, through kalam, people of falsafa use argument, disputation, and quarreling. How strange it is. How can a person dare to engage in disputation, quarreling, rhetoric, argumentation, when Allah says, none dispute regarding the verse of Allah except those who disbelieve. So according to Imam Baba, you engaging in rhetoric, falsafa, mantik, right, is literally disputation of kufr. You're committing kufr by doing this. We're showing you that.
But Mike, I because I don't have too much time, but just to reply, Prexon, when you say rhetoric is concession, yes, because we're here to be intellectual. If you want to insult and you want to play like, look at this guy, look at this guy, look at this guy, I would just hope and wait for you to die sometime soon. And then I'll say, look, you're in hell. Look at Muhammad. Look at that guy. I can do that all day if I wanted to. I could do that same rhetoric. But the question is, where's that going to get to? Nowhere. It's just going to be an insult match.
You're not even acting like Muhammad. So Muhammad said, don't engage with rhetoric and disputation and debate, but you're doing it.
Well, Prexon, if you're saying being intellectual is a concession, then I guess Islam's not the religion for me, right? If that's what Islam teaches.
Anyway, do you want me to unmute him? I can unmute him now.
No, I said rhetoric is a concession, not being intellectual.
Because the fact
I guess illiteracy and deafness as well as sadly an infection.
You can
rhetorical, meaning I don't want to hear this. Look at this guy.
Okay, gotcha.
Look at this guy. This guy doesn't do this.
For God to be God, he has to be independent. The Son is not independent. There you go. Address the contradiction.
Simple. Is aseity a property of nature?
Just the contradiction.
You didn't answer my question. Is aseity a property of nature?
Your question does not respond to my actual contradiction.
Actually, it does, because your question says God. Is God reference to nature?
I accept
or
the concession. You tried to deal with the conversation
Is
so
God
many times, it never
to
worked.
nature or object or a subject? Because you said aseity. You said God is ase, or he possesses aseity. What does that entail if not
in that sentence, I did not say aseity.
Actually, you did. You said God has aseity.
No, I said for God to be God, he has to be independent. I said for God to be God verbatim, he has to be independent.
You said
the Son is not independent, therefore the Son is not God. There you go.
You said aseity.
That was what I said, actually. I never used the word aseity a while ago. In the most recent sentence, when I've given the argument,
did you not say
contradiction,
did you not say aseity means independence? Did you not say aseity means independence? That's the definition you gave.
That's not what I said in the most recent sentence. In the most recent
I'm going to
argument.
repeat it again. I didn't say most recent. I said, did you give
when
that
I said
definition?
to address the contradiction, I was talking about the most recent sentence.
Did you say that aseity means independence? That's the definition you gave in the
most recent argument, which is the contradiction.
I'm going to repeat the question again. In this conversation,
the answer is
not
no.
the most recent statement.
And the answer is
no. You didn't say in the entire conversation.
You're trying to run away so bad, aren't you?
In this conversation,
you said I said the word aseity. In the argument I've just delivered a while ago, that's incorrect.
Apollo.
And now trying to change the goalpost if I said the word aseity in the most recent argument. If I said it in the conversation, which is a different point.
I'm just going to have him mute you if you're not just going to concede that you said aseity in the conversation that you said it means.
You said me losing optical points, by the way.
No, because you're not answering the question. You're deflecting. You keep saying in the most recent response.
I literally said no. I said no.
So you never used. So just to clarify, you never used the. You never used the word
aseity in the most recent argument. That was just the argument, please.
No, that's not what I asked you. Not what I asked you. Can you answer the question? This is going to be a concession if you can't answer the question directly.
You're running away from the question and the argument.
The question is a direct question. Did you use the word aseity at all in the conversation and define it specifically?
In the conversation, yes. In the current points, no. Just the current point, please.
Did you hear what I said with the definition independent?
I said in the conversation, yes. In the current points, no. Just the current point.
Independent.
Just the current point.
Does the current point use the word independent?
Stay on the current point. Address the argument.
Does the current point employ the word independence?
It employs the word independent, but not the word aseity, which is incorrect.
Did you use the word independence as it?
You said I used the word aseity. That's incorrect. I used the word independent, not aseity.
Apollo, did you use the word independence as a definition for aseity?
Yes. Aseity? No. Independence? Yes. Address the current point.
No, that's not what I asked you. Did you use the word?
I said yes. You said did I use the word aseity? I said you said did I use the word independent? I said yes. So yes, I did respond to your question.
Apollo, if you interrupt me one more time, it's a concession. That's not my question.
Also,
my question is, did you use the word independence as a definition for aseity? That's a yes or no.
Yes. Definitely, not just the current point.
So
for God to be God, he has to be independent. The Son is not independent, therefore there's a contradiction. Just the current point.
Just to clarify, it's semantic then. When
how many more meta points are going to go on to? Stop being a derailed donkey. Just the point.
You just made a okay. So you just made a meta point. You said you used the word independence instead of aseity when you gave the definition of aseity as independent.
What is wrong?
I'm going to take it as a concession that you're just a dishonest fool.
You think I'm admitting to your position because I'm pointing out that you know just my argument?
Secondly, is the soul ase? Is the soul ase?
Never said the soul.
I didn't ask you if you said. I'm asking you a question.
Just my argument.
Asking you a question.
Is there a question that just my argument?
Yeah, I'm not making it. No, I don't mean to ask a question. I'm making a counter argument.
How's the question that just my argument about independence relations?
I'm making a counter argument.
Prove the claim that it is just my argument.
I don't need to make claims. I'm asking a question.
You're making the claim that you said a while ago. You made the claim that this is just my argument. Prove that claim. Go ahead.
I just made it clear. I'm giving you a question to counter.
You saying you made it clear is not proof of the claim. Prove that you made it clear that it just is my argument.
Is the soul independent from the body in Islam before the body?
Are you going to prove your claim or no?
It's a yes or no question.
So you can see that it is not just my argument. Gotcha, cool. So just my argument. Go ahead.
It's related to your argument. You're talking about independence.
Oh, really? Prove that claim.
Prove the claim that you're talking about independence. You already conceded you used the word.
No, prove the claim that it is addressing my argument, buddy. Don't try to act dumb. Don't try to act dumb. Prove that claim.
I just proved it. You used the term independence. Is that not
prove that you just proved it? Go ahead. What was the proof of the claim?
You just said independence refers to something that is ase. You used
that's not me talking about soul, buddy.
That's the topic.
I'm not talking about soul in that argument, am I? Right?
I didn't mention that you're.
Oh, you're stuttering. Oh, no. So, dude, my argument was me saying that for God to be God, he has to be independent.
Apollo, when
and
you say for
the Son will not be God by your own standards.
Okay, is the name God being used for nature?
How many more clarifying questions are going to ask me for the actually just the God argument?
Apollo, because when you use the word God, you
how many more words do I have to define for you in this English class for the just the argument?
Wait, you're saying God needs to be
This is a
defined?
debate. That's an English lecture, bro. I'm not your university English professor. Just address the arguments.
philosophical
Asking for
discussion.
definitions,
Struggling
buddy.
with your words. What are you talking about?
Apollo, you're not even a
You're
professor.
stuttering.
He talks to minors online. Okay, go ahead, Agatho.
Apollo. The problem is that you're.
Are you on your
really
period
confusing
by any chance?
No, you're a
Apollo.
pedophile. That's what I'm telling you.
Apollo, I'm not on my period like she wasn't on her period.
And now he's derailing to fabricated lies about someone being a pedophile. It is crazy, bro.
We have
Now you're slandering.
Yeah,
Just
like how you guys run away from me when you bring up the fact that
you guys? Who is you guys? I've never talked to you before.
Elijah, don't buy into it. Apollo.
So address the arguments. Can you guys address the argument?
Say specifically that God cannot be God unless he's aseity, or he possesses aseity or independence. When you say God, give me the specific individuated thing you were discussing when you say God. Are you referring to a God?
I'm talking about the being. I'm talking about the suppositum.
Does being entail the subject or the object? Does the being entail the subject or the object? Can you answer the question?
They're coextensive because the subject can be within the category of objects.
Is the subject directly related to object, or is it a distinct category of reality?
When you're talking about an object, you're talking about something which has been identified with a particular metaphysical
not if it lacks a subject, right?
And the subject would classify within that category.
Okay, so you would agree that when you say God cannot be God unless he's independent, that means that if God is dependent upon it. So when you say that God is independent,
do you know what the suppositum is?
It means that God cannot be dependent on anything that is not that thing that he exists.
He doesn't know.
Correct?
He doesn't know the actual concept.
I do, but it's irrelevant because I'm asking you.
How is it irrelevant? You asked me what I'm talking. You asked me what am I talking about? I'm talking about God. I told you it's a suppositum. There you go. Response.
Answer this question. It's so simple.
I just
when
answered the question.
Independent,
you asked me what am I talking about?
Does that mean that God
I told
cannot depend upon something that is other than what he is constituted as? Namely, God is constituted as
absolutely,
essence,
absolutely.
Right, so
he cannot be dependent on something external to his metaphysical makeup. Now, just the argument.
Wait. What is his metaphysical makeup constitute?
How many more questions do I have to answer for the just the argument? 87 more questions. You tell me.
Non-theological language. You said his.
Oh, really? Non-theological language?
What does that entail? His makeup.
What does the word "what" entail?
I'm asking you what is the makeup? Entail?
Oh my God!
His attributes, his essence.
No, you could have just told me that you're ignorant in metaphysics, and it would have just helped you out, bro.
Is makeup is makeup a metaphysical term that's used in theological?
Absolutely, it is. Yes,
really?
It is.
Really, they would say somebody's genetic makeup or
somebody
ontological makeup. They would say that.
Dude, let's get back to the actual point. So, just the argument.
I did just address it. According to you,
no, God
cannot be God. He is dependent upon anything that is not himself. And I asked you, is himself constituted of his essence? You said his makeup. Is his makeup constituted of his essence?
Bro, the makeup would just be the types of inseparable properties which is going to be related to God.
Are the properties the essence, or are they distinct from the essence?
They'll be the essence because essence is just essential properties of an object.
Okay, so are the properties able to be individuated and distincted?
Tactics is working. I'm just really sharp with this conversation.
Are the attributes able to be individuated and distinguished, ontologically speaking?
You're asking me if God is able to be individuated? Yes, definitely.
God is able to be individuated, ontologically speaking.
Absolutely, which is why you count God as one, moron.
I didn't say God. I didn't say God is one. I said his properties. I said his properties may be individuated. I said
15 minutes.
I asked can his properties be individuated.
Just the argument. So we're the trick question. So yeah, I've answered like 15 questions. So here's my question for you: is it the case? Yes or no? I just want the yes or no. No TED talk. Is it the case?
I have to give explications. I can't answer yes or no.
Is it the case that for something to be God, it has to be independence of all things? Yes or no?
When you say in order for something to be God, you mean in order for something to be constituted as the divine nature?
The moment when I ask you questions.
No, I just told you I'm not going to answer yes or no without explication. So I can't do
really? Yes or no really? But when I was doing the opposite, you tried to accuse me of thought.
Wait, when did I say you can't explicate?
Wait, hold on. So no, just my question. What's your response to my question?
Hold on, Apollo. You made an accusation. Let's see.
No, we're not going to go to the meta. Just my question. Response to the question. Response to the question.
You're not going to bear false
witness. Now should deal with the conversation to meta point.
You just said whenever I asked you questions, I didn't let that happen.
That's a meta point. That's a meta point.
I never let you
meta point. That's a meta point. That's a meta point.
If it's a meta point, why'd you bring it up? hold on, if it's a meta point, why
I can bring a meta point, but you don't have to respond to meta points. Just
do you agree that a meta point is a concession of the discussion? Because
that's not a concession.
It's not on topic.
I'm not agreeing to anything. A meta point is not a concession. A concession is a meta point on topic that you disagreed on the original. Stop misusing the word concession for rhetorical bonus points.
Apollo, is a meta point on topic?
A meta point on topic?
Yeah.
Just like how your current question is not on topic? No.
Actually, it is on topic. We're asking about whether or not you conceded the debate.
You asking me if a meta point is on topic is not you addressing my question.
Is that a yes or no?
So you concede to this? Gotcha. So, again, I'm going to ask you again.
I'm going to take it as yes, it's off topic, so it's a concession.
I'm going to take it as you're dodging my question because you're going on to another meta point again because you won't even answer this question.
So I'm going to re-ask the question. You're the one that brought it up.
Is it the case that for God to be God, he has to be independent?
Yes or no? Saying yes or no?
Is it the case that for God to be God, he has to be independent? Yes or no? Answer the question.
If by God you mean the divine nature, in order for it to be constituted as the divine nature, that it must be independent from anything itself, namely uncaused, yes.
Okay, got you. So you're saying that the divine nature, for that to be the case,
is that the words that I used?
Hold on, relax, dude. Calm down, because you guys count God by the essence. You guys count God by the nature. So if you're saying that God by the wait, stop. Hold on a second. Right? If you're claiming that God by the nature, which is what you guys count God by to establish that God is one and not three gods you guys are worshiping, if you're saying that requires independence, then it would be the case that given that standard of counting and analysis of what God actually is, the Son would not be God because the Son is not independent because the Son possesses the human nature,
the Son is
which
necessitates
being dependent.
Who does the
so
Son
that's an automatic concession right
in
there.
Regards to nature?
You just bent your own points over and just
who does the Son of God depend upon in regards to nature?
So do you have a different debate?
Can you answer the question? Who does the Son of God depend upon in regards to nature?
You already lost the debate. Why are you still
Can you answer the question? Who does the Son? You made a claim. I want you
to
want me to
answer a question.
Who does the Son of God? No, it's on the topic of the debate of dependence.
You're stuttering. You said
that the Lord Jesus Christ.
You never expected me to be so witty and smart.
Who does the Lord Jesus Christ depend upon for his divine nature?
For his divine nature? You're not tracking the conversation.
Who does he depend upon? Who does he depend upon?
Agatho, he's literally.
I said Christ is dependent. Did I not?
When you keep saying Christ is dependent, you can't just say Christ is dependent. I asked you, who's he dependent upon regarding his divine nature? For the Son to be the Son, he has to satisfy the identical conditions for him to be the Son, and part of these identical conditions would be the fact of him possessing the human nature. No, that's
human nature is dependent on physical objects.
That's a straw man. We don't believe that what constitutes the Son of God as a person is that he has humanity. Could you
explain to me the presentative fallacious point in my argument? Go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. You just said in order for the Son to be the Son, he has to have a human nature. Wrong. He's the Son before humanity.
Actually, you missed out a large portion of my point, actually. Could you tell me the other portion of the argument?
You just said that the Son is constituted as Son because of his humanity. Wrong. It's not correct.
No, that's right. You missed out the large portion of my actual point. So I said
there is no larger portion of that point.
Stop talking, dude. You just missed out.
You said the Son is identified as Son because of the human nature.
That's my argument. Trying to accuse me of being the strawman person. That's actually crazy. So my argument is quite simple. You want to hear what the argument is without you strawman in my argument again? So the point I'm making, you're interrupting again because you're skipping back to topic. So here's my point. My point is a part of the identity conditions regarding the Son and Christ is the fact of him possessing the human nature and properties essentially being a human, and those properties entails that there's a dependency relation and not a independency relation, and so there would be a conflict. That was my argument, but
is it ontological dependency?
Right? So it's just the argument.
Is it an ontological dependency or a logical contingency?
Oh, you don't know what the argument is again. Should have to repeat the argument.
Can you answer my question? Can you answer my question?
Can I answer your irrelevant question? Yes, I can.
How is it irrelevant? You're the one that employed those terms. You're the one that employed those terms.
If you're asking me if it's possible for me to just say irrelevant question, of course it is possible. Am I going to? The answer is no.
What makes it irrelevant?
On topic, you're just my current points. Go ahead.
What makes it irrelevant?
What makes it irrelevant is the fact of it if not addressing my current point, I should say. Sorry.
Whoa!
It's not just
you can't. You just restated your point. You didn't prove anything. What makes it irrelevant?
What makes it irrelevant? You asked what makes it irrelevant. I just told you what makes it irrelevant.
No, you just said it doesn't prove your point. Well, you restating that it doesn't prove your point.
I never said it doesn't prove my point. I said it does not address my point, moron.
What's your argument that it doesn't address your point? Don't restate your statement.
What's my argument for that claim? The argument is going to be predicated upon the fact that my point is not about logical possibility. Not about logical contingency.
I'm not asking you to predicate anything. I'm asking you to demonstrate.
Do you want me to explain to you what the argument is without you interrupting?
No.
Got you.
I need you to answer my question.
No? So you want to keep on interrupting without you hearing what the actual point is, the actual argument is? Got you.
That my
So
question
each time you interrupt my point is each time I'm going to be unable to hear my argument. And so, in effectiveness, right, what's going to happen is you're going to be asking for an argument. However, you will never actually hear the goddamn argument because every single time I try to articulate the argument, you interrupt the point.
You're right. It is a goddamn argument. It's damned by God because it's horrible.
So here's the argument, right, as to why your question was irrelevant. So my point currently is specifically about the idea.
Is your point about dependency?
And here's another interruption from the uncivilized barbarian caveman.
You're the uncivilized barbarian.
Uncivilized primitive caveman who cannot control himself. Every single
barbarian and a caveman?
Stepdaddy Apollo talks, he starts to pee his pants. He gets scared.
Muhammad consider a barbarian, and did he live in a cave?
So here's the point.
That was cringe, dude.
So the point is that I'm making, Carly, is that for God to be God, he has to be independent. The Son is not independent, therefore the Son is not God. And so you agreed on premise one. You agreed on premise one, right? So your argument falls apart. Now on a separate point.
Can you mute him real quick? Because I need to address this point. He doesn't want to actually have a back and forth. So I need to have him muted while I respond. He just repeated that same point. He hasn't proven it. He just said the Son is not independent but dependent. I just asked that question 5 times. Who does the Son depend upon for his divine nature? He could not answer that question because in order for him to prove the Son is dependent, as he argued 5 times, he has to be able to answer who the Son depends on for his divine nature. He hasn't been able to answer it. Because he just admitted that in order for God to be God, when he says God, he means the divinity. In order for the divinity to be divine, it has to be independent. Well, if we're talking about Jesus being God, that means that Jesus cannot depend upon another nature other than his divine nature to be divine. Well, that's easy. He doesn't depend upon anybody else for his divine nature. He's identical to the divine nature. There you go. It's that simple. You haven't been able to make that argument.
You strawman me, sir. Strawman. You strawman criminal. Right? So what happened was, I said that God is going to be... Stop. Don't talk. God is identified as the suppositum. However, if only use your paradigm, where you're identifying God as the essence, there would still be a contradiction. So no, I was not taking God to be the essence, the divine essence. I was taking God to be the suppositum. Right, so
I don't believe that. So you can't make an internal critique if you're going to say
it's going to be the individual instantiating the essence, which could be the divine essence. I'm saying that specifically is going to entail a contradiction. For something to be identified as the particular suppositum, it has to be the case that it is going to be the type of thing which is independent.
However, the Son is not independent. The Son
cannot be identified as this
what makes the Son a Son?
Which is the extensional states of the concept.
Apollo, what
so
makes
therefore,
the Son
there's a contradiction. Just the argument.
Is it because he's dependent? What makes the Son the Son?
Yes, it is because he's dependent. So are you agreeing now that there's a contradiction?
Who's he dependent on? Who's he dependent on?
Not who, what he's dependent on. The Son, right, given the fact that the Son was human at some moment in time during incarnation, was dependent on physical make-and properties.
I asked you about the person.
He was dependent on inseparable physical properties. There you go.
Did the person of the Son exist prior to the humanity? Did the person of the Son exist prior to the humanity?
No, they're just the argument.
What do you mean? You just said the Son. I'm asking you
about the Son of God. Still the argument.
He is just
the Son of God.
Did the Son of God pre-exist as humanity?
Never said he's dependent. I never appealed to a person. I appealed to a set of separable metaphysical properties, which entails dependency relation.
So you're talking about his human operations. The human operations are dependent?
If you're human operations, which are identical conditions of the Son, yeah, definitely.
No, they're not identical conditions of the Son. They're identical to the nature.
You don't believe that they're true of the Son, that the Son was a human?
They're true of the Son insofar as the Son was a human.
It is true of the Son. So that means it is a part of the Son's identity.
Mike, I got to get him muted because he's going to interrupt this point. Because I can't have him over talking when I'm making the point. It's specifically predicated of the Son insofar as he is human. It's not predicated of the Son insofar as he's the Son, which means it's not what denotes or is derivative of the fact that he's the Son. See, that's the problem. That's why I asked you, what makes the Son the Son? And you couldn't answer that question the 3 times I asked you in a row. You see? 3 times. 3 different times the Holy Trinity is smacking the shit out of you and your prophet in hell. It's very simple. 3 different times I asked you, what makes the Son the Son? And you couldn't answer it. You keep saying it's, he's dependent through the human operations. Oh, but that applies to the Son. Right, but it applies to the Son insofar as he's human, not so insofar as he's the Son. So you can't conflate the two like you did 3 times now, probably 5 times now, because you repeated it quite a lot. So can you address the actual argument while maintaining our paradigm without strawmanning it? I don't think you can.
Yeah, brother. So it's just quite simple, right? You're just not intellectually good for this conversation, which is why you have to resort to blasphemy insults in your counter argument. And that's fine. I understand you. I pity you. Love you to death, kid, but you're still a bad kid, though.
You resorted to insults, Tom.
So because you believe the Son is Jesus, you believe the Son is Jesus, which is a human, right? Then you'd have to believe the Son is human at some moment in time.
Human?
Even if it is not the case that the essential characteristics of the Son
is Jesus a person?
The point of the matter is, at some moment in time, the Son was human,
Jesus,
and that
is
means
Jesus a person?
time, the Son was dependent, and that means there's a contradiction because there is a contradiction between the fact of there being a moment in time.
Can you answer the question? You said Jesus is a human. Is Jesus a person?
And the Son is identified to be the suppositum God, which is necessarily independent. That's an obvious contradiction because it's allowed for the possibility.
Is the person of the Son of God independent insofar as he's God, namely the divine
Another irrelevant question. Oh my God, dude! How many irrelevant questions?
You mentioned the suppositum. You mentioned the suppositum independence.
Yeah, the suppositum, which is the individual instantiating the essence, right? Which is one.
By the way, is the individual subsistence, namely the divine person, is the divine person God?
Is the divine person God giving you guys position? Of course.
Right. What is entailed in him being God?
Not me.
Identical to the divine essence, correct? So, identical to the divine essence, correct?
You sound mentally stuck, by the way.
The question is simple. Identical to the divine essence, correct?
Identical to the divine essence? Doesn't have to be. You can have another different.
That's a denial of Catholic teaching. You can't argue within our paradigm and deny that. So you got to stop saying you're arguing our paradigm.
You think it is the case?
The Catholic Church teaches that the divine persons are identical to the essence.
He's panicking. So the question specifically was not specifying the Catholic tradition.
Repeat the question.
And number 2,
you can't deny that. You're arguing my paradigm.
Look at you.
You can't do an internal critique and deny my paradigm. Either maintain my paradigm or stop with the internal critique.
Cross liquor. You gotta calm down.
You're a Blackstone kisser.
You're getting crucified.
Vagina.
Badly, just like how Jesus Christ, your God,
Alex vagina, you kissed in the
cross. Right, you're getting crucified just like him right now. Blood is all over your intellectual rhetorical body. This conversation, my boy. Look at this though. So to just the actual argument,
you can't maintain internal critique.
The actual argument.
Why can't you do that?
We have a contradiction. Do you know what the counter argument is for the contradictory points that have established and illustrated and demonstrated within the argument?
Any asymmetry.
What's going to be the counter argument?
The counter argument is very simple and demonstrably the case. Now I'm going to have to get you muted because you love to overtalk counter arguments. The counter argument is simple. You have not been able to solidify. You have not been able to solidify whatsoever that there is a contradiction. Because you have not been able to demonstrate that the two natures are not conformable.
You sound angry. What's going on?
Christ in humanity, according to the human operations, he participated in actions whereby he engaged in acts where he depended upon others. But that was not an ontological necessity. So if it's a matter of volition, meaning he chose to depend upon others, it doesn't negate that he's God because his operation whereby he depended upon others was not engaged by his divine nature, which is itself ase or independent. So again, the argument doesn't follow. Your argument has to be consistent by saying the Son of God cannot be both independent and dependent if both of those predications were applied to a singular nature, which we don't say. We say that independency or aseity is proper to the divinity wherewith Christ subsists, and his dependency, according to his own volition, is proper to his humanity.
Waffle. Yep,
I don't hear a counter. I'm going to take it as a concession. Waffle.
Are you done talking? Gotcha, cool.
Is that what Muhammad ate?
You guys smell that?
No.
I'm smelling a whole bunch of dookie butter points from my opponents,
in hell.
which is just rejection of my argument, right? So
I smell your God's foot in hell.
Basically, I was talking about the idea that in modal logic, we have a thing called necessity operator, right? And necessity or necessary facts, or necessary characteristics, those types of things, they quantify over all possibilities relevant to a particular domain. So if it is, sorry about the background, by the way. So if it is the case, right, that God is necessarily independent, right, that means that which is God is independent, then if there are case scenarios or instances or moments in time in which that thing is not independent, then it necessarily follows given the semantics of modern logic functionalities like operators like necessity,
it wouldn't be applied to Christ.
And because he
Christ
already
does not depend
conceded
upon
that
anybody
in
in his
human
divine nature.
the Son was dependent, then it would in fact be the case that the Son could not be God because God is necessarily independent.
Is the human nature
how
God?
about you just that argument instead of giving me a bedtime story yapping
is the
session,
human
which is
nature
putting the
God?
entire audience to sleep, which does not address any God in point of my argument. How about you do this instead?
Apollo,
Go
is
ahead.
the human nature God? Is it divine?
Is it divine? Is your mama divine?
Yes. That's my question. Is the human nature divine?
So just stand it.
Agatho, why do you keep
Is the
engaging
human
with
nature
this
divine? Is that what your question was?
He's not even responding.
If you
to
can't
anything
even
he's
answer this
saying.
question, then it just shows how stupid you are. Is the divine nature
Given you guys'
human? Is the human
position,
nature divine?
it would be the case that you guys believe this because you guys identify the human.
I'm going to take that
you
as
guys
a
identify
concession.
Jesus
You
Christ
don't know our theology.
in the human flesh to still be God.
Micah, you can
That
mute
was
him now.
easy.
Micah, you can mute him now.
No, dude.
That's the end of the conversation.
Oh no.
This idiot, he just proved doesn't know anything about Christianity. He just said, according to our theology, this just shows it's a waste of time to talk to him now, because I haven't shown him his theology, but he definitely did with ours 5 times. He just said, according to us, the human nature would be divine. And he said, according to our theology, because the person is divine. Wrong. That's wrong. The human nature is not divine. Have you never read Ephesus? Of course you haven't. The church does not teach at the Council of Ephesus in 431 that the divinity and humanity are the same. They're distinct. They're not the same. Christ's humanity is not his divinity. So you cannot say Christ's human nature is divine, nor can you say his divine nature is human. That's exactly what I said he's going to do, and he claimed he's not going to do it, and that is, what is it, Micah? What did I predict he's going to do? He's going to confuse the natures.
Exactly.
Did I not predict it? Of course I predicted it. That's all they can do, is either confuse the natures so badly, separate the natures so badly, or argue that certain properties are mutually exclusive, and because these mutually exclusive properties are predicated to one subject, that therefore it proves contradiction. No, it doesn't. And I demonstrated that in my soul-body analogy, where immateriality is mutually exclusive to the soul, in contrast to materiality applied to that of the body. Well, that's quite problematic, because or invisibility and visibility. The soul is invisible, the body is visible. Well, they're mutually exclusive properties, and yet they both cohere and in one subject. Isn't that amazing? Wow, so it's not a contradiction. They can adhere in one subject simultaneously without contravening or mixing or confusing or even contradicting. But Elijah, the only reason why I did this was because, well, eventually I wanted him to just demonstrate for me he doesn't know our theology. Not even a little bit.
Yeah, he said the. I think it was the one where he said the divine nature is the human nature.
How can you say that?
And I'd love to talk about Islam after this. Like a lot of stuff about Islam with Apollo, if that's fun.
Yeah, I would love to hear a debate about Islam for sure.
So I'll mute him.
This guy out.
But by the way, he's arguing modal logic, but this guy doesn't believe in modal logic for Allah. Allah's above modal logic, let's be honest. He doesn't even believe in the law of identity when it comes to Allah. He believes that Allah's essence and the attributes, but the essence and attributes are not the same. So he rejects absolute identity.
Can we talk about Islam now, or what?
Okay, hold on. You're gonna run away now.
Yeah. So can I just the arguments, or do you see the conversation? So the point is because you guys believe that Jesus, even when he's a human being, was God, then it would have to be the case that because that Jesus Christ.
When you say when he was a human being, he was God, that's the subject.
And you're identifying that thing in terms of human suppositum to be God, then you're identifying the human nature to be something which is identical to the divine nature.
We don't say the human nature is divine because the person is divine.
Even if it is the case the human nature is not the divine nature, that's an entailment from you guys' positions. So you guys got like destroyed and the point. We can move on to a different point. We can move on to a different point. Oh no, look at them. Oh no, yikes.
Apollo, the Council of Ephesus in 431 explicitly teaches that the divine nature is not human and the human nature is not divine.
Do you believe Jesus, when he was on the earth, incarnated was God? Do you believe this?
Notice how you switched it. Was he God? As in, was he a divine person?
Answer the question, buddy.
Person. Was his human nature divine?
Answer the question.
I just answered it. I just answered it.
Was Jesus on earth God? Yes or no?
As in divine person? Yes. As in divine nature? No. You see how
Wait, hold on a second. Divine person? Yes. Divine nature. So divine nature was not God, but divine person.
That's right, because that which was on earth was human.
Really? But you said that you identify God in virtue of the divine nature, buddy. What's going on, dog?
That's simple, because his divine nature only adheres with the humanity by virtue of the union, not by being on earth.
Is God in virtue of the divine person or the divine nature? So you worship three gods?
I'm going to repeat it again. Christ was God on earth insofar as the unity of the natures is concerned, and the person himself.
No. You're changing the topic. You're changing the points right now. You're changing the point.
Nature was
you
not
said
on
that
earth.
Christ
That's why you said
God
Jesus was on earth.
Divine person,
You
not
specifically
his divine nature.
I'm gonna have to get you
that
muted.
Is the case. You worship three gods because they're three divine persons.
He said when Jesus was on earth, was he God? And I said, insofar as divine person is concerned, the divine nature was not on earth because the nature by which the Son of God, by which the divine person was subsistent, the nature that he subsisted in on earth was human, not divine. The nature that he maintained and retained subsisting as in heaven is God. The divine nature cannot be at all spatially temporal on earth. I know you believe that about your false God. Our God does not at all have a beginning. He's not spatially temporal. He cannot at all be substantially present in his creation. That would be akin, quite frankly, to polytheistic bullshit, as well as, quite frankly, conflating God with creation, pantheism. In all honesty, Micah, I wouldn't really waste too much time with him. This guy is literally ignorant.
It's fine. We can talk about Islam. So
now this is fun again. The intestinal force and the ball sex on me, right? So
I mean,
I'm just gonna
I gotta go because it's.
Don't run away.
I gotta go.
Oh no!
Don't run away, Apollo.
But Apollo,
you run away.
Apollo,
Islam. You gonna run away?
you have to convert to Christ because you're an idiot.
You're gonna run away from Islam, Apollo.
Well, to be fair, the title of the room, the title of the room is Discuss Islam.
You're going to discuss Islam? Because, I mean, he's answered all your points. I mean, you can press him more on points, but he's going to answer all your points again.
Dude, are they just the arguments or no?
So Apollo's going to run away from Islam. Fantastic.
I'm running away. How so? You've been muting me the entire time. So look,
you're going to run away from Islam. Everyone is running away from his book. He's running away from his book. He's going to run away from his book. You're going to run away from your book. Everyone can see you're running away from your book.
I don't want to debate about my
You're running away from your book. You are running away from your book. Everyone can see you're running from your book. You are running from your book, dude.
You're going to step
You're running from your book. Don't run away from your book. Answer your book, okay? We're going to talk about the Salaf Salih, what they believed about philosophy, and how you're a kafir. You're literally a mushrik, okay? We're going to discuss this stuff, okay? So now you're going to get into the points that you have to address these points, okay? Don't run away. Be a coward like Muhammad, right? And Umar Tabata Uhud. Going to answer these points, all right? This is the source of Zandaka, heresy, and kufr, right? I taught you, Imam Babahari, he said in his Sharh Sunnah, page 87, that anyone through kalam and the people of kalam and argumentation, disputation, and quarreling engage in those activities being rhetoric, dispute, kalam, falsafa. They are a disbeliever. They're a disbeliever. They're not upon the books of Muhammad, right? And they're not upon the deen of Islam. This is what Imam Babahari says as well. So can you deal with these points? Can you deal with the fact that Sheikh Asim al-Hakim, not even Sheikh Asim al-Hakim alone, but also Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, he says there's dangers of reading philosophy. He says, and therefore there is nothing in my view more harmful to Muslims in their aqeedas beliefs than philosophy, and that which is similar to philosophy. Explanation of Talib al-Ilm, Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen, page 28. Okay, he's going to answer these points, right? You're not going to run away from them and do the schismatic tactics. You're going to answer every point. Sheikh Salih al-Fawzan also says this. Sheikh Fawzan says this. And also you've got Imam Babahari says this, and Ibn Taymiyyah says this. He literally says this. He says rather it's haqiqah, specific matter for those who speak about the deen in a matter other than what they were taught by the messengers. So the messengers, what they taught, we got to abide by those. And the messengers did not teach philosophy, mantiq, Falsafa, they didn't teach this stuff. They taught to judge by naql, not aql. So you're going to deal with these arguments I brought you. Deal with these points.
Yes, so all of those claims, buddy, and prove that they're credible, all of them.
Prove that they're credible? Okay, hold on. Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen's not credible?
Claims are credible.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to bring these points up. Okay, I'm going to go screen share and bury you with these arguments.
Sources, buddy, we're waiting.
I'm going to bring up the sources right now. 1 second. 1 second. I'm going to see what's going to happen. Okay, calm down. Everyone's going to go to my screen share. 1 second. Everyone's going to go to my screen share. Yeah, 1 second. I'm going to put up in my... Calm down. Calm down. We're going to see what's going to happen. Right, yeah, everyone can see my screen share.
By the way, people are mentioning in the chat.
Calm down. What's happening? I'm bringing it up right now. Look.
Wait, why
calm down. Look, everyone can see my screen share. 1 second. Everyone can see my screen share.
You're screaming.
Calm down.
Lungs, by the way.
Look, I'm not. Well, you're the one who's screaming through your lungs. I'm not screaming through my lungs. You were screaming at the whole time. Look, Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim.
Like,
okay, 1 second.
Calm down.
Now he's freaking. He's panicking. He's panicking. Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim, right? Not even Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim alone. Ibn Uthaymeen, Sheikh Ibn Baz as well. Ibn Uthaymeen. Now, why are you panicking? Why are you interrupting me? Can I get to the point instead of you manifesting? Yeah, you're autistic because you're screaming at the mic the whole time. Look, I'm going to get to the point, okay? Do you disagree that the Salaf Salih condemn falsafa and that you're upon kufr? Because Imam Barbahari says, someone who does not follow what the Salaf Salih believed and what was taught by the Tabi and the Tabi'un and what the Sahaba taught, they are not upon the deen of Islam. Do you believe this stuff?
Do you believe that the Salafs disagree with my points about the sun?
Yes, they do. They do. Show me someone from the Salaf Salih and say that you can deal with mantiq and falsafa. Go ahead. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for I mute.
Wait,
1 second. Go ahead.
Believes that Jesus Christ is God? You're retarded.
What? Hold on. This Apollo Muslim guy is so retarded because I never said that the Salaf Salih believe that Jesus Christ is God. I said that they would disagree with the principle. I said yes, affirmative to the understanding that they would disagree with the principle that Apollo is using to refute Jesus Christ being God, namely using falsafa or philosophy in order to refute the understanding of Jesus Christ being God. That's what I said yes to. This guy's obviously retarded. And I say this later on, just immediately later on from what I'm saying right now. This guy's actually just retarded. I never said that the Salaf Salih believe Jesus is God explicitly. I never said that.
Jesus Christ is God? You're retarded.
What? Hold on. He's just running away. Yes. I never said they believe Jesus Christ is God. I said they believe in falsafa, mantiq.
Oh, no.
I didn't even say that they believe in Jesus Christ is God. I said, do they believe in falsafa, mantiq? Nice straw man. Do they believe in falsafa, mantiq?
You're retarded.
Do they believe in falsafa, mantiq? I asked you a question. You can answer the question. No, he's not going to answer the question. Did they believe in falsafa, mantiq? You're not answering the question. Everyone can see that he's not answering the question.
Embarrassed yourself.
What, you're embarrassing yourself for not even answering the question. I asked you a question. Are you going to answer that question?
Seek truth.
So now he's just running away. See how he's trying to appeal to this emotional rhetorical tactics. He's diverging from the question I asked you. Did the Salaf Salih believe in mantiq and philosophy as something that you could judge by? Did they believe in that? Yes or no?
You don't have to shout.
See how he can't even answer my question? I gave you the shout out soon. It's on my screen share. It's on my screen share. 1 second. 1 second. Al-Imam Malik ibn Anas also says this. He says this, right? In his book. He says this. This is in volume 2, page 126, 120 says.
Can you stop speaking to Apollo? Can you stop speaking to the rest of the room and just answer his question?
The scholars of our land, Al-Medina, have not ceased to detest and prohibit it. Now he's panicking. He's panicking, freaking out. Calm down, man. I'm destroying your religion by the grace of Muhammad. By the grace of Muhammad, I'm destroying your religion. Like the kalam, founded in the opinions of the Jahmis. He says denying qadr and calm down, everything that resembles it, and discussion in general when it relates to real actions. Sorrowful kalam about the religion of Allah and about Allah Himself. Then silence is more beloved to me. So silence on the matter of kalam and falsafa. You're a heretic.
Can't understand your point.
You said I can't provide you a shar. I provided you. I provided you Imam Barbahari's shar. Deal with the shar from Imam Barbahari. Deal with what he said. He's from the Salaf Salih. You gonna run away from the Salaf Salih?
Way too loud, buddy.
I asked you a question. You said, give me the shar of Imam Barbahari. I gave you the shar of Imam Barbahari. Are you gonna deal with that? Athar. Are you gonna deal with the Athar?
You're just
okay, still man what I'm telling you. Still man what I'm telling you. What am I telling you?
Dude, can you speak lower, please?
I'm asking you. You're the one who's supposed to speak lower. Why? Because you were screaming at the mic. I'm just giving you back your potion. I'm just giving you back your poison.
Bro,
So once again, deal with the author from Imam Barbahari. He's from the Sharh al-Sunnah. He says, anyone who judges by something other than what Allah revealed in the Sunnah, Quran, and based upon the Salaf Salih, they are a kafir, disbeliever. Their blood should be spilled. They're not upon the deen of Islam. Deal with the author. I know that you're not an author because you're running from the author like Muhammad was running from the Zut. Deal with the author. And that Zut hadith is authentic, by the way. Okay? So deal with the author. I know you're running away from Islam because Islam's not your buddy.
Like genuinely, it's hard to make out half the saying because you're just screaming way too much.
Everyone, he's running away from the author of Imam Barbahari. I told him to deal with the author. He said, bring me the author of Imam Barbahari. He said, bring me the author. I provided him the author. Deal with the author from Imam Barbahari. Deal with the author.
Dude, pronounce your words properly.
Now he's just diverting from what I told him. I am pronouncing my words precisely good. I'm pronouncing them with precision. Answer the author. He can't answer the author. Everyone can see. Everyone can see that you can't answer the author I gave you. Deal with the author from Imam Barbahari. Can you deal with that sharh? Deal with that sharh. Deal with the explanation.
What you're saying? I have to make up.
You asked for this author from Imam Barbahari. I didn't ask for it. You asked for the author. You asked for the author from Imam Barbahari. I gave you the author. So deal with the author from Imam Barbahari. Deal with it. Stop running. I know you want to run. Stop running from the author. Deal with the author.
I deal to the parts which I could understand.
Why did you ask for the author if you're not going to deal with it?
Did you remember my response to your points?
You said, give me the evidence of the author. That's what you said. I've given you the author. I gave you the author. What's your response to the author?
Was that the only thing I said?
That's what you said. I'm dealing with that. What you said. You said that. You said nothing except for rhetorically deviating from the point of contention. Deal with that author from Imam Barbahari. Can you deal with it? See how he's not going to answer the author? Everyone can see that he's running. Everyone in the crowd can see that he's running from the author because he's scared. He's running from the author. So deal with the author. Why are you rejecting this author?
You don't want to address my argument. You want to address a
Are you going to deal with the author? He's not going to deal with the author. See, he's running away. He's running away faster than Muhammad. Running faster than Muhammad from the battle of Uhud with Umar bin Abdullah. Answer the author. Why are you running away from the author? And then even there we see from the Salaf Salih, we see this in Al-Muqrawi, page 36, the Encyclopedia of the Salaf's position on the doctrine, methodology, and education. It says this, as for the Sharia, it is known by necessity from the religion of Islam that God did not make learning Greek logic, mantiq, obligatory for the people of knowledge of faith. And he says, it is false. It is false, right? This appeal to mantiq is false. So once again, the fact of the matter is you're running away from the author. I'm giving you dalil after dalil after dalil. You're not going to answer the dalil because you're scared of your religion. You don't know your religion. I know your religion more than you. I'm more educated about your religion than more than you. Deal with the author. Can you deal with the author? Yes or no?
The Salafs do not agree that Jesus is God.
I never. Hold on.
Is that
what do you mean?
Jesus is God?
Jesus is God according to. You want me to tell you why Jesus is God according to the Salaf? You want to tell you why? Because according to the Quran, he is.
Do the Salaf?
And if the Salaf are part of the Quran, you want to show you according to the Quran, Jesus is God? Okay, can you open up Surah 22 verse? Can you open up Quran? Can you open up Surah 22 and Surah 21, 98 to 99? Can you open up the Quran?
Jesus is God.
I'm showing you according to the Quran, he is God. Can you open up the Quran?
The question.
I'm showing you according to the Quran.
Yes or no?
Jesus is God. Can you open up the Quran?
Do they believe Jesus is God?
Can you? Well, if they believe in the Quran, they must believe he's God. If they believe in the Quran, they must believe he's God because the Quran says that Jesus is God. The Quran says Jesus is God. Can you deal with the Quran? I told you, go to Surah 21, 98 to 99 of the Quran. Can you go to Surah 21, Surah Al-Anbiya, 98 to 99 of the Quran? Get to the Quran. Stop running. Stop running from your Quran. I know you don't like Islam. I know you're scared of your Quran. I know you're scared of Hadith. I know you're scared of author. Deal with the author. Deal with the author from Imam Barbahari. Deal with that author. Deal with the Sharh al-Sunnah of him. Deal with the Quran. All the truth out of this 44, which says that we should judge by what Allah revealed. What did Allah reveal? He only revealed Naql. He only revealed Naql because he didn't reveal Greek Aristotelian philosophy and Aristotelian syllogism because that's what was revealed to Aristotle. Otherwise, you believe that Aristotle's a Nabi. Aristotle's not a Nabi, right? He's literally a mushrik, so he's not actually that of which Allah revealed something. So that means that philosophy is condemned according to Surah 1 verse 44 of the Quran. So deal with the Quran. Deal with Surah 21 verse 98 to 99. Was it the Salaf Salih believe in the Quran? They're supposed to judge by what the Quran says, and the Quran actually says that Jesus is God. Go to Surah 21, 98 to 99 of the Quran. Why are you running from the Quran? Why are you running from the Quran? Everyone can see you're running from the Quran. Stop running from the Quran. You're running from the Quran. Everyone, he's running from the Quran. Yo, this guy's scared of his Quran. He's so scared of his religion. He's so scared of his religion. Yo, you're so scared of your religion. You're panicking from your religion. You are panicking. Get to your Quran. Surah 21, 98 to 99 of your Quran. Answer your Quran. Why are you running from your Quran? Answer your goddamn Quran. Why are you running from your Quran? Answer your Quran. He's running from his Quran. I told him.
Dude, this is fucking retarded. What the fuck?
Is God. That's upon their right. They believe in the Quran. They have to believe in the Quran where it says that Jesus is God implicitly. So answer the verse where it says Jesus is God. Answer that verse. See how he's running? See how he's running from the Quran? He wants to run faster than Muhammad. He wants to run faster than Muhammad. It's not going to help him. Answer the ayat I gave you. Surah 21, Surah Al-Anbiya, 98 to 99 of the Quran. Answer the Quran. Can you run away from the Quran? Yes, you can run away from the Quran. I'm not going to let you run away from the Quran. I'm going to pin you down on your book. I'm going to pin you down on your book, buddy. You're not going to run from your book, buddy. I'm not like one of these Christians who's not going to pin you down in your book. I'm going to pin you down in your book. So answer Surah 21, 98, 99 of the Quran. Answer Surah Al-Anbiya. Answer the Quran. He's running. He is running. He's running. He doesn't want to answer the Quran. He's a Muslim, by the way. He's a Muslim. He's supposed to answer by his Quran. He's not going to answer by his Quran. He's not going to answer by his Quran. Open up Surah 21, 98 to 99. Look how he's running away. He's running away into tangents. He wants to talk about rhetoric and ad hominems. I'm not here for your ad hominems. I want to get to the substance. Open up Surah 21, 98 to 99 of your Quran. Open up your Quran. Surah 21, 98 to 99.
Concubine.
Open up. Now he's insulting me, calling me a concubine. See? Once again, I'm a male, I'm not a female. Actually, your prophet had a concubine, Maria the Copt. Let's not get into it. And also your prophet had a concubine, Maria the Copt. We're not going to get into it, but your prophet was a filthy, disgusting person. And he actually was a disgusting person. Why was he a disgusting person? Because he forgave people that raped individuals. He forgave the man, according to Sahih Muslim and Bukhari, who raped a woman and said that he was innocent after he did tawbah, repentance. So now you're going to run over your Quran. I know you're scared of your Quran. Open up Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 44. And open Surah Al-Anbiya verse 90 to 99 of your Quran. Answer your Quran.
My slave, bro. I have a legal.
See, now everyone can see that he's running. Why is he running? Why is he running from his book? Because we know that he's running from his book. Why is he running from his book? Because he's going to insult me instead of answering his book. That's classic ad hominem tactics, where he's just engaging with rhetoric, no substance. So I'm going to push you back to your book, and you're going to answer with substance. Answer the book of Muhammad that you especially believe in, which you don't, because the fact of the matter is you're ignorant on your book. Because there's no excuse for ignorance in Islam according to the Salaf Salih. You're not going to get any udur bijahl, excuse for ignorance. You're not going to get udur bijahl. So answer Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 44 of the Quran and answer Surah Al-Anbiya verse 98 to 99. I'm going to pin you down. You're not going to run away. You're not going to run away. Answer Surah 21, 90 to 99. See how he's running? Everyone can see that he's running. See? Everyone. Daz, Spiro, Papus, Luke, Crimson, Finn, Brexon. Look, this guy is running. He is panicking. He is panicking. He is panicking from his book. He's panicking from Islam. He's panicking from Islam, and he's going to run away. Watch him run away, because I'm not going to stop, man. I'm going to continue pressing you. Answer Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 44 of your Quran, and answer Surah Al-Tawbah, right, which I mentioned. Also answer Surah Al-Anbiya verse 98 to 99 of your Quran. Are you going to deal with these passages?
You sound way too angry for this conversation.
Because I want to destroy your religion, and I'm going to destroy your religion by the grace of Jesus Christ. Answer your book.
To continue this conversation.
He's going to run away now. He's going to run away. Come here to destroy his religion. He doesn't want to discuss Islam. He doesn't want to discuss Islam because he's a little philosopher, right? And he would be condemned as a kafir according to the Salaf Salih. So I'm going to put you in your place. I'm destroying you with the books of Muhammad. Open up Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 99 of your Quran. Let's get to it. Open up Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 99. Get to the point. Why are you running from your Quran?
He lost the current point.
Why are you running from your Quran? I've been saying this for the past 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Get to the Quran. You said, the Salaf Salih, you said to me, everyone, he said to me, why did you bring up the church father, or why did you bring up the Salaf Salih believe that Jesus is God, right? I didn't say that, believe that explicitly. I said, What I meant by that is that they believe it implicitly, because if they believe in the Bible, what means that they believe in the Bible, they believe what's in, sorry, if they believe in the Bible and what's in the Quran, right? If they believe in the Bible, that the Salaf Salih believe in the Bible, yes, I can, because of the Islamic dilemma is actually verifiable. But if they believe in the Bible and believe in the Quran, they must believe, what? Believe Injil is the Bible. What do you mean? The Injil is the Bible, right? It is Kitab, and actually the Injil is translated as Evangelion from Greek. And we know that the Injil is what was written from Hebrew into Syriac and into Arabic. We have actual manuscripts of this. Because according to the 6th century manuscript, can I answer you? Now you're going to run away. From 6th century manuscripts that existed at the time of Muhammad, we have manuscripts from the Syriac Aramaic Gospel in both Aramaic variants and also Hebrew variants. That would be the most likely and most probable thing that was translated into Arabic that existed from Muhammad based upon historical data. That's what you don't even understand. But the fact of the matter is, the goalpost. You're trying to run away from Islam. It's not going to flick on the verse I gave you. I'm not going to let you run away. We're going to get back to the point. So what if the it's going to be a janazah for your religion. I'm going to give you a janazah for your religion. And I'm going to give you a janazah for your actual career. It's going to be a burial for your career. Surah 21, 98 to 90 of the Quran. Surah 21, 98 to 99. Sorry, can I answer the point? Surah 21, 98 to 90 of the Quran. You're going to run away from the Quran. It says that Jesus is God in Surah 21, 98 to 9 of the Quran. Are you going to run away from the Quran? He's going to run away from the Quran where it says that Jesus is God. So answer Jesus is God according to your Quran. Why are you running away from the Quran? The Bible. He's running away from the Quran. He's going to the Bible. I'm not talking about the Bible right now. I was talking about the Quran. All I'm talking about the Bible is that your Salaf Salih believe in the Bible, which contains the deity of Christ in the Bible. But I'm talking about the Quran also containing the deity of Christ. So can we get to Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 99 of the Quran? Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 99 of the Quran. Why are you running away from the Quran? Why are you running away from the Quran? I know you love to run away. See how he's trying to divert? He doesn't want to discuss. He doesn't want to discuss the Quran. He wants to run away from the Quran. He wants to run away from the Quran. Everyone can see this. He's panicking and running away from the Quran. He's just simply hurling insults at me. And he asked me a question. Everyone heard the question.
No one was not enjoyable.
Jesus is God. They believe it implicitly. They believe it implicitly. Why do they believe it implicitly? Why do they believe it implicitly? Because they believe in the Quran. If they believe in the Quran, unless you're saying that the Salaf don't believe in the Quran, that what that means is that they believe in the ayat that say that Jesus is God. Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 99 of the Quran. So you're going to deal with the Quran. You're going to deal with these verses in the Quran. You're going to run away. You're going to run away. I'm over talking because you're over talking me. So I'm asking you a question. You're not going to be rhetorically. I'm going to decimate you rhetorically by the word of Christ. Answer the verses. Surah Al-Anbiya, the Quran. Are you going to answer? Are you going to answer these verses in the Quran? I'm going to pin you down. An hour of you running. This is 1 hour of you running. It doesn't look good for you. Answer Surah Al-Anbiya, 99 of the Quran. Are you going to answer these verses?
Can you guys do one at a time, please? Hello. Hey.
Are you going to? Look, he's running away. You're going to answer Surah Al-Anbiya 99 of the Quran? I brought this up first. And I'm going to deal with your questions after. I'm going to deal with your questions after. I'm going to get to that subsequently. You're going to answer. Now he's running to the Injil. Now he's running to the Injil when I initially brought the Quran. I'm going to get to the Injil. Bury the Quran first. Ya Habib, let me bury the Quran first. According to Surah Al-Anbiya, according to Surah Al-Anbiya of the Quran, according to Surah Al-Anbiya of the Quran, and you answer this ayatin of the Quran, you say, where does the Salaf Salih believe Jesus Christ is God? I said they believe it implicitly, not explicitly, because I provided that categorical distinction. Why did I provide that categorical distinction? Because according to the Bible and according to the Quran, Jesus Christ is God. I gave you Surah Al-Anbiya 98 to 9 of the Quran. You're going to deal with this ayat. Well, let's see if he responds. Let's see if he responds. Let's see if he responds to my reductor.
Wait, Micah.
A collection of books. Therefore,
Micah, 1 second, bro.
Apollo, I brought up the Quran, buddy.
Micah, slow down, bro. Slow down, bro. Slow down.
See how he's running away to the Bible? Even though I brought up the Quran initially, we'll get to the Bible. I'll bury you on the Bible, and I'll bury you on the preservation of the Bible. But get to the Quran. You're trying to shoot focus. It's not going to work for you.
I just did.
Answer the Quran. I gave you Surah 21, 98 to 99. Are you going to deal with this verse? It was directly related to your question, which was your question is that where did the Salaf Salih believe Jesus Christ is God? Implicitly. I provided you evidence. Because if they believe in the Quran, unless you don't believe that they believe in the Quran, the Quran itself says Jesus Christ is God. Can we get to the passage?
You've lost the point, buddy.
He's not going to answer the point. He's going to run away. See, he's running away from the Quran. He said, give me the verses. I'm giving you the verses where Jesus Christ is God in the Quran. And I'll also go to the Bible and show how he's God in the Bible. But let's get to the Quran first. Stop running away from the Quran. See how he's running. This is 10, 15 minutes of you running from the Quran. 10, 15 minutes you running.
Micah, let him engage with you then.
Because he's going to overtalk and he's not going to answer the point. So answer the point. Surah 21, 98 to 99. Do you believe this verse prove that he's God? Yes or no?
The verse does not talk about the Bible, nor does it prove that.
See, I didn't even ask that. I didn't even ask that. I'm talking about these verses. Surah 21, 98 to 99, because you brought up the point that I said that the Salaf Salih believe that Jesus Christ is God. And I can prove this implicitly, that they have implicit understanding, because if they believe in the Quran, there would have to be an indirect consequence that they believe that Jesus Christ is God. Unless they don't believe in the Quran, which you're arguing that they don't believe in the Quran because they don't believe that Jesus Christ is God in the Quran. I'm going to get to these points. So Surah 21, 90 to 99, can we get these verses up? I'm going to read the verses. I'm going to destroy him. Right? Because I've had enough of his tiredness. I've had enough of his vitriol. I'm going to bury him on the Quran myself. I'm going to bury him according to the Quran. I'm going to bury him.
Just like your
right? I'm going to bury him according to the Quran. We're going to get to the verses, right? Calm down. I'm going to get you the verses. Calm down. Stop panicking. Here it is. This is Surah 21, 98 to 99. Stop panicking. This is going to be your end.
Filthy pagan.
Hold on. Unmute him. I'm going to bury him with these verses. Well, who muted him? I didn't mute him. Let's get to the passages. Okay. Surah 21, 98 to 99 proves Jesus is true God. Okay. Let's get to the passages. Okay. Let's read it. Okay. So Surah 21 literally condemns all worships being besides Allah, right? So it condemns whatever the belief. Calm down. It condemns whatever the unbelievers worship besides Allah to hellfire. Surah 21, 101 literally says it exempts the righteous like Jesus, not because he's not divine. So I'm going to get to the points, right? We're going to read these passages, right? Surah 21, 90 to 99. Let's see if there's a crime bot in the side chat. Right, let's get to the passages. Let's see. Okay, indeed, you and what you worship other than Allah should be fuel for hellfire. Right? Let's get the passage. There'll be fuel for hellfire. You will be coming to enter it. Right? Had these been actual gods, they would not have come to it, but all are eternal therein. Okay. So what are the believers worshiping here, and what are the unbelievers worshiping? The believers are worshiping Allah. Correct. What are the unbelievers worshiping?
Excuse me?
What are the unbelievers worshipping? Whatever they worship goes to hellfire, correct?
Disbelievers, they either do not worship anything or they worship false deities.
Wait, unbelievers don't worship anything, they worship false deities, correct?
Dude,
do unbelievers worship false deities, correct? Yes, they do. So, according to this understanding, do Christians worship a false deity, being Jesus, namely?
That was the response to your question.
Do Jesus worship hold on, can I answer you? Is Jesus worship according to unbelievers, namely Christians?
Of course. So tell me which
is Jesus a false deity? Is Jesus a false deity?
Insofar as he's not God, yes, of course, definitely.
Okay, so it says, had they been true gods, actual gods, they would not have come to it, but they're in eternal hellfire. So, is Jesus in hellfire, yes or no? 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 Is Jesus in hellfire, yes or no?
I'm waiting for the response to my question.
What was your question?
Where's the verse, buddy?
I literally quoted the verse. This guy's so slow. He's so slow. I quoted Surah 21, 98 to 99 of the Quran. You're so slow. I was quoting this because you weren't tracking. You weren't listening. I already gave you the ayat. I gave you Surah 21, 98 to 99. Is Jesus Christ God? No, he's not according to you. So I'm telling you, is he a false God? You said yes. Okay, if he's a false God, why is he not in hellfire? Why is he not in hellfire?
Or that Jesus is God.
Okay, why is Jesus not in hellfire? Can you answer my question?
Which verse in the Quran states this?
I already told him, see, he's not tracking. You can't even track. You can't even track. I already gave you the ayats. You're not even tracking what I'm telling you. Why is this Jesus not in hellfire? If he's worshipped by Christians and Christians aren't believers, why is Jesus not in hellfire? Can you answer the question?
Do you understand?
He's laughing because he has no response.
Worship retard?
What?
That does not prove that Jesus is worshipped. You asking me a question does not demonstrate a verse.
What? You don't believe Christians worship Jesus?
Jesus is God.
You don't believe Christians worship Jesus?
This verse proves this. Which verse?
You don't believe Jesus Christ? Do you not believe Jesus is what? Do you not believe Jesus is worshipped by Christians?
I know for a fact that Jesus is not someone who's God. So tell me right now.
Dude, he's not even tracking my point. He's not even tracking my point. Bro, he's so slow.
Stop pressing now.
Is Jesus worshipped by Christians? Yo, this guy's retarded. I didn't even bring that up as an argument. Yo,
Hey, you-
that's so slow, man.
Blackstone licking pagan
He's so
dog.
slow, man. He's so slow, man.
Pagan licking
Is Jesus
stone
God
dog.
according to Christians? He can't even answer my question. Yo, he's on silent. He's on silent, man.
Worshiping Jesus.
He's baked. Is Jesus Christ God according to Christians, man?
Jesus is God. How does that follow?
Is
Filthy
Jesus?
subhuman
I didn't even say
animal,
that.
just
I didn't even
ask
say
questions.
is Jesus God.
Given the Quran.
I didn't say Jesus God
Jesus-
epistemically. I asked you a question. I said, is Jesus God according to Christians?
Him being God according to Christians is not the same as according to God. We're talking about the latter.
What?
I'm a retard.
The object performer? What is this guy even rambling about? I asked you, is Jesus Christ God according to Christians?
Whether it is the case that Jesus is God according to the Quran.
Yes, because I'm building my argument. I'm building my argument. Is Jesus Christ God according to Christians? I'm building my argument. This guy's so slow, he doesn't even understand what I'm telling him.
Possession that Jesus.
Yo, this guy's so slow, man. He can't even track my argument. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm asking you a question. Is Jesus Christ God according to Christians? You said nothing. You went on to a different topic. I'll ask you a question. Is Jesus Christ God according to Christians? Yes or no?
According to the Christians, yes.
Is he a false deity? Is he a false deity?
If by false deity mean a being which is not God, yes, he's a false deity.
Okay, so he's a false deity. Okay. So it says, had they been true gods, what they worship, the unbelievers, they would not have come to it, but they would be in eternal hellfire. Right?
That Jesus is a false deity. There you go. That's not the.
Okay, Jesus is a false deity according to you. Okay, so why is Jesus not in hellfire according to the Quran? Why is Jesus not in hellfire according to the Quran? Because it says, had he been a true God, he would have not entered hellfire. So Jesus is a true God because he's worshipped by Christians. He can't be a false ilah, false God, because he's in heaven, not in hellfire. SubhanAllah, your religion's buried. So can you answer the point? Why is Jesus in heaven instead of hellfire if he's a false deity, taken by unbelievers as a God?
Him being worshipped by Christians is not the same as him surely by Muslims according to the Quran. We're talking about the latter point. What?
Wait, hold on. Him being taken as an unbeliever by Christians has no relevance to the context? It does, because I'm telling you, if he's a false ilah, it had to be the necessary consequence that he's in hellfire according to the stipulation of the Quran. So why is he not in hellfire?
Not God. Not that it has to be the case that he'd be in the hellfire.
What? It says in the verse, I'm reading the verse, it says, I'm going to read the verse again because this guy's not even tracking.
SJ, bro.
I literally showed him that the Quran says that if Jesus is a true God, or if anyone is taken as an ilah, or a thing is taken as an ilah, as a false deity, he must be in hellfire. Jesus is not a false God because he's not in hellfire. He must be a true God. That's the necessary entailment of the Quran, Surah 21:90-99. And the fact of the matter is, that your prophet commits shirk. Your prophet commits shirk many times. Why? Because if I go to the Quran, it says that your prophet, right? Can I answer you?
What do you think it means for something to be a God?
What does it mean for something to be a god? An ilah, an idol taken by people. That would be necessarily entailed as shirk.
I'm asking you, what does it mean for
It's a necessary entailment of shirk that he's a false idol taken by individuals that are unbelievers instead of Muslims that are taken as idols to be worshipped, to be given praise in worship. So now we get back to the point. There's much shirk in the Quran. I showed you how Jesus Christ is God according to Surah 21:9-9 in the Quran. I can even show you that according to Umar bin al-Khattab, there's an author in Sahih Muslim which says that Jibril is the one who entered into Mary. He's the one that entered into Mary and became Isa. He became Isa, and the sanad is thicker. Everyone in the chain is thicker. It's an authentic hadith. It's authentic hadith. That is a hadith in Sahih Muslim I'll provide you the references that shows that Jesus Christ himself, right, is Isa who entered into Mary and became Jesus Christ.
Answer the question.
I'm going to answer the point. Why is, according to Umar bin al-Khattab, why is he literally, why is Jesus Christ literally an angel, a divine angel, and this divine angel called Jibril, isn't just simply a created angelomorphic being. He's actually a being that's uncreated, God himself, because he's called Rabb al-Alameen, Lord of Honor and Majesty, according to Sahih Muslim. And it's a commentary and an explication of Surah An-Najm 1 to 15 to 16.
When I say God, I'm talking about a being which is not God. What part about that requires you haven't been to hellfire, retard?
What? What about that requires difference in hellfire? This guy's retarded. Because it says, had they been true God, they would have not entered hellfire. Like all you Muslims will enter hellfire, according to Surah Maryam, verse 71.
Retardation.
Surah Maryam, verse 71 of the Quran says that you will all enter hellfire. Right? So I'm telling you that it says that the false idols will enter hellfire if they're false gods, false ilah. Jesus Christ is a true God, so he's not in hellfire, taken by unbelievers as an idol, as a deity, according to you. Which means that he must be in heaven, not in hellfire. So you're going to answer the point. Why is he in heaven instead of hellfire if he's a false deity? I have not had a response from him.
Because he has not committed the relevant sins for him to be in the hellfire.
What do you mean? He's not committed the relevant sins to be in hellfire? Okay, hold on. How do inanimate beings that don't have animation commit sins and hold on, now he's panicking. How do inanimate beings that do not commit sins go to hellfire if it's not because of the sins? It's not because of the sins that they go to hellfire. They go to hellfire because they take it as an ilah, a false deity. So it's not necessarily because Jesus is sinless. And if that's the case, you actually prove that Jesus Christ is God, because anyone who is sinless is God himself. Because Muhammad wasn't sinless, according to Surah An-Najm. Surah An-Najm, your prophet was reciting satanic verses, and he committed shirk after he became a muwahid. He committed shirk. So he wasn't a monotheist, and he wasn't sinless. And even then, you see Adam and Eve committed shirk akbar, according to the Quran as well. So once again, if he's sinless, that means he's God, because anyone who's sinless is God. So you just buried yourself on that argument. Also, I'm going to bring up the point that according to the Quran, it literally says, what else does it say? It literally says that you're a prophet, right? Believe that Jesus is Jibril. Jibril is the Lord of Honor and Majesty, according to Umar and the Rasulullah Muhammad himself. Is literally the Messenger of God, who is the angel of the Lord, who is the Lord of Honor and Majesty, according to Sahih Muslim. And Waraq ibn Auf, he says in an authentic ahadith to Muhammad that the angel that visited Moses is the one that visited you in the cave of Hira. That same angel, the one that visited Moses, is the one that visited you in the cave of Hira, which is Jibril according to you. If that is Jibril in the cave of Hira, that means that it's actually God who appeared in the burning bush, according to Exodus chapter 3, verse 1 to 16. It's God who appeared in the burning bush. So Jibril is God according to the Quran. So I'm showing you all the shirk in your Quran, showing you all the shirk in your athar. So deal with the athar. Once again, you said that it's because Jesus Christ is sinless that he went to heaven instead of hellfire. Right? But that's not what the text entails. The text entails that if he's a false God, he wouldn't enter hellfire. Oh, sorry, if he's a false God, he would enter hellfire, but he didn't enter hellfire. He went to heaven. He's not a false God. That's the necessary empowerment.
Could you define what shirk is?
Shirk is polytheism, or worshipping someone other than Allah. So now answer my question. Why is there multiple athar from Sahih Muslim that says that your prophet literally said that the one who visited Jibril, right? The one who was visited by Jibril, which is Muhammad, was visited by Moses. And Moses thought God as the angel of the Lord, and he answered my question. Now he's panicking. Now he's panicking. See how he's panicking? The one that visited Moses in Exodus chapter 3 was God himself, who said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That was the same one that visited Muhammad in the cave of Hira, and his name was Jibril. So God is Jibril according to Sahih Muslim. Now you got a problem, because according to Sahih Muslim, there's an author as well that says that the one who came down 2 bow lengths to meet Muhammad in Surah An-Najm verse 1 to 16, the one who came 2 bow lengths or nearer to meet Muhammad, is going to all the Mufassirin, was Jibril. But the problem is, if it's Jibril, you got a problem, because that's not what the Asbab al-Nuzul says. The Asbab al-Nuzul of this surah literally tells you it's Allah, because the one who comes down is the master of Muhammad. Okay, so no one else can be the master of Muhammad except for God himself. So the one who came down 2 bow lengths to meet Muhammad was God himself, and this means that, who is it? This means that Muhammad is the abdihi of the one coming down. No one else can be the abdihi of the one coming down except for a servant who is a created entity, and no one else can have a master other than God. According to some scholars, the one who came down 2 billion lira was actually God. So now you got a problem. Who is the one called Lord of Honor Majesty? Is it Jibril or God?
Jibril was worshipped. Go ahead.
Jibril was worshipped? Yes, because I'm showing you according to Surah Al-Najm 1-16, stop panicking. Surah Al-Najm 1-16, the one who comes 2 billion down to meet Muhammad, now he's panicking. See, he's panicking. He's interrupting me. He asked me a question. I'm trying to answer his question. See? I'm trying to answer his question. He's panicking, right? Because he's a fool. He's a fool like his prophet. He's a dog like his prophet. I'm trying to bury him, and I am burying him by the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ, but he keeps on interrupting me. I'm burying him, and I'm burying Aisha, right? I'm doing a janazah on Aisha and Muhammad. So I'm burying them right now. So now we're going to answer this author, right? This tradition in the surah. Now you're going to answer this. The one coming down. Who is the one coming down according to the surah?
This is so childish.
No, you're childish. You don't answer my questions. Who is the one coming down in the surah? I'm showing that Jibril is God.
You haven't even proven my point by answering my question.
Now he's running away. Who is the one coming down? Who is the one coming down to Muhammad? Meaning Muhammad. 2 billion lira.
Jibril was worshipped.
Now he's answering. I'm showing you he's worshipped. Who is the one coming down? I'm asking you a question. Is it Jibril who's the one who's coming down? If you say it's Jibril, you're going to have a janazah because I'm proving that Jibril is God. If you say it's Jibril, who is the one coming down 2 billion lira?
So how about you focus on that point?
He's not going to answer my point. See, he's running away. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad? According to Surah Al-Najm verse. Now he's running away. 8 to 9. Who is the one coming down? And verse 15 to 16. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad?
I'm still waiting for the verse.
I'm asking you a question. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad? 2 billion lira.
You asking me a question is not you presenting.
He's running away, man. You're not even answering my questions. I'm proving that Jesus Christ is Jibril. I've already done that, and I'm proving that Jibril is God. So answer my question. Answer my question. Is Jibril the one coming down to meet Muhammad? Yes or no? He's running away, man. He's panicking. He can't even answer my question. He's running from his Quran. He's running from Hadith. Athar. You're rejecting your Athar. You're rejecting your Athar. You're not upon the deen of Allah according to Imam Babar Hadi and Ishaq Sunnah. So answer the question. Answer the question. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad? 2 billion lira.
Still waiting for the verse.
He's running. I already gave you the verse. Stop panicking. He can't even track. He only knows philosophy. Answer my question.
You're galloping away right now. You're galloping away.
Answer my question. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad? 2 billion lira. He's panicking. He can't even answer it. Who's the one coming down? Who's the one coming down?
About the prophet is incorrect and
Who's coming down to meet Muhammad? Is it Jibril or Allah? Can you answer my point?
I accept a concession.
Okay, who's coming down to meet Muhammad? Is it Jibril or Allah? Because you have a janazah either way. Who is the one coming down? Either option you choose, it's going to bury you in your religion. Who is the one coming down to meet Muhammad? 2 billion lira.
Yeah, Micah, I think you might be retarded, man, because
no, I think your prophet
or disingenuous
because he's a mushrik who worshipped idols. I think he was a prophet that was a mushrik. He's a false prophet. Because he's a false prophet, because he's a mushrik, he was a pagan for 40 years of his prophethood, right? Or prior to his prophethood, he's a pagan for 40 years prior to his prophethood. He's a mushrik and he committed a major sin, shirk akbar, right? And even then, after he was a muwahid, he recited the satanic verses of the 3 daughters of Allah, the Garani, he recited the 3 daughters of Allah, right? Because he was possessed by shaitan. And Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani provides 2 hadith that have an authentic sanad, right? Sanad. It's authentic, which says this. What does it say? It says that yes, your prophet was possessed by the jinn, and for 8 long years, these verses were in the Quran before they were abrogated. Before they were abrogated, they're taken out of the Quran. And for 8 long years, your prophet left the verses intact of Surah Al-Najm, where your prophet said about the 3 daughters of Allah that their intercession is hopeful and desired. Your prophet was a pagan after his prophethood. Your prophet was a pagan before his prophethood. Because according to Surah Al-Duha, verse 7 of the Quran, it literally says that your prophet was lost and then guided to Islam. If he was lost and guided to Islam, what does this mean? What does this mean if your prophet was lost and guided to Islam? It means that he was a pagan because he was not upon the deen of Allah. Because if he was guided to Islam, there was a point in time when he was guided to Islam, which means prior to that point in time he was guided to Islam, he was lost, meaning he was upon the face of his people. And we have an author here. I'm going to bury in the author. That literally says this, right? I'm going to bury you. You're getting gish galloped and destroyed. And I'm not even committing a fallacy, right? But you are gish galloping. So I have to do the counter argument and gish gallop you because you're a heretic. You're doing this to Agatho, so I'm doing the same thing to you. I'm burying you. It's not a fallacy. I'm doing it to you because you're doing this to Agatho, so I'm burying you. So you can answer Surah 93 verse 7 of the Quran. And answer, this is according to Al-Sudi, the author from Al-Sudi. The The author from Al-Suddi. Now he's interrupting, see?
Or who's going to listen to
Al-Suddi says in his author, and this is in Tafsir al-Tabri, right?
right now.
493 verse 7.
Running away from the question.
He found you in a state other than the state in which you were, right, in today. Al-Suddi said about what Ibn Hamid told us, about what Mihran told us on authority of Al-Suddi, on authority of Al-Suddi, and he found you lost. He was in the charge of his affairs of these people for 40 years. It said that he found you among the people astray and guided you to Islam. He's found among the people astray.
I'm going to give you 20 more seconds to
So, okay, you're going to run away. You're going to run away. That's what you're going to do. I can be all day. I want you to answer points. You're not answering my points. So I'm going on to other points because you can't answer my points. And I'm showing you how all these points I'm bringing up are connected because they show that there's shirk in the Quran and that Jesus is God ultimately because he's one of your deities that is taken as an ilah. So you're going to answer the points. Muhammad himself committed shirk with 3 daughters of Allah. Right? You're going to answer this point. This hadith is authentic. Who is weak in the chain? I gave you the chain. Who is weak in the chain? 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 He's running away from the hadith. I gave you the author. Who is weak in the chain of the sanad I mentioned? Who is weak in the chain? Who is weak in the isnad? Who is weak in this isnad? Now he's panicking, see? Who is weak in the isnad I gave you? Who is weak in the isnad I gave you? Do jah wa tadil of this hadith, and you're going to find that there's no jah, there's substantial tadil. Everyone's thicker in this sanad. So who's weak in the sanad?
Still waiting for the verse already.
So you reject authentic ahadith, you're a kafir munafiq. Mushrik pagan, that's what you are. I gave you an authentic hadith that says your prophet was a pagan for 40 years before his prophethood. And I gave you the satanic verses, Surah Al-Najm, Ibn Hajar al-Asqalani, Al-Albani, Ibn Taymiyyah, Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah, Imam Manawi, right? And several others say that this hadith, its usul is authentic, that your prophet was a pagan after he was a muwahhid, right? So you're going to answer these points, you're going to run away. I gave you points, right? You're not going to answer these points, you're just running away. I'm going to put him in the side chat because this guy's a coward. He can't answer anything, right? And that's what I'm going to have to do because he's running, right? He's running. Okay, so I'm going to provide all the authors. I'm going to provide everything because he's running, okay? That's what he can do.
I accept the consent.
I'm providing everything. Watch this, guys. I'm going to provide everything in the side chat. Look at this. We're going to bury this guy today. We're going to bury this guy today. He's going to do a janazah with him, all right? Let's get to the points, all right? You're going to deal with this author I gave you, okay? You're going to deal with it, all right? You're not going to run away. Everyone can see my screen share, all right? I'm going to destroy this guy right now. Stop panicking. This is going to be your janazah. Let's get to the points, okay?
You're the only person panicking.
Stop panicking. We're going to get to the points. You're going to deal with these the sanad of the athar. All right? Athariyat. You're going to deal with this. Stop. So Surah Al-Duha verse 7. The word dalan means lost, okay? Now I'm going to get to the points. Muhammad was lost and astray for 40 years prior to his Rizallah, prophethood. All right? Right? Exactly. I provide you the sanad. I provide you the matan of the hadith, okay? Al-Tabakat al-Kubra, Al-Kanaji. Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Asadi informed us of Sufyan al-Thawri narrated to us, I heard al-Suddi say concerning the servant of Allah, the exalted, and he found you lost and guarded you. Surah Al-Duha verse 7. He was upon the affairs of these people for 40 years. Your prophet was upon the affairs of these people for 40 years. He was a pagan for 40 years. Can you deal with this author? Right? Your prophet was a pagan for 40 years. I'm not dodging. I'm showing you that you're a pagan because you won't consider that your prophet was a pagan. So you are literally, I can do takfir al-adar on you and show that you're a kafir because you're not actually going to condemn people that don't believe in this, don't believe in the author, so you're a kafir. And once again, your prophet is a mushrik. You're not going to even concede the author because you're a retard. You don't even know your religion, you're a jahil, right? And I step on you with the books of Muhammad. So who is weak in the sanad? Pagan. Who is weak in the sanad? You're running away. I know you're going to run away, but look.
I don't know why it's still going after his order.
Because you're running. I want you to answer the author. So stop running.
I don't feel the need to continue this conversation.
Because you're running. I know you're running. I know you're scared. I want you to answer this author. Stop running away. Answer the author. Why is he running away? See, he's panicking. He's panicking. Who is weak in the author? Who is weak in the author, dumbass? Deal with the author.
That's Bills worships. That's the best.
Deal with this author, dumbass. Who is weak in the author?
Deal with this question, dumbass.
You're running away. You're like a retard, like your prophet. Your prophet was a little bastard. You know why? Because his prophets before him believed that he was a false prophet, right? They had foresight that he's a false prophet, right? Because your prophet did not worship the true God. He worshipped the false God. The true God's triune according to the biblical scriptures. Your prophet is a pagan according to Deuteronomy 13, 1-16. Your prophet's a false prophet, right? So I'm going to bury you with the books of Muhammad. And your prophet said in Surah Al-Ma'arij verse 44, to judge by what Allah revealed. I'm judging by what Allah revealed, being the Torah, Zabur, Injil. You're judging by falsafa, which is not what your Prophet revealed. And this is not what the message revealed, according to Imam Barbahari in his Sharh Sunnah. So you're going to be buried. So why are you running away when, according to the Salaf Saleh, they condemn falsafa, and you're going to answer these points, right? I didn't even mute you. I didn't even mute you, Apollo. Someone else muted you. You're going to answer these points. Why is this author weak, right? You got to accept the author. The author for you is obligatory. You reject this author. Now he's run away. See, he's run away. What a pagan. He's ran away. What a coward. See? He ran away. See? He ran away. What a pagan. That was probably an hour and 40 minutes of this guy running away from my questions, right? And Agatho's questions. He ran away. What a coward.
Let all these pagans run away, bro. Yo, Micah, do you want to go TikTok live with me? Will you be down? Right now?
Sure, but I can't bring sources, man, on there.
No, you're good. Don't